question. You know, if you think about what's core to so much that we think of in terms of heritage and tradition, we tend to use words like provenance as well. And when we think about luxury and we put that in the mix, then we also think about craft and we think about artisanship. And all of these words, I think, create an impression and an idea of a closeness to nature and a desire to actually make things of quality, timeless things that are going to last a long time. And we tend not to use the word fast. We tend to think of fast when we think of fast fashion, which we think of being cheap and convenient. And so luxury is, I think, already ahead of the game when it comes to sustainability, because when most of us think of luxury, we think of investment and we think about things that we want to buy and we want to treasure and we want to keep for a long time. And that's what I think makes great hospitality in luxury really resonate, is the idea that it's about creating relationships where we maybe want to return to the same place time and time again, where we see our families grow up and maybe we even see our kids start to love the place for the same reason that we've been going. And I think all of these are essential to what makes a great hospitality experience. And sustainability is intertwined in that, and for many great hotels is part of what they do best. Exactly, and I think, you know, the great thing about what technology does is it just can make things seamless. And you know, good technology is a bit like electricity, isn't it? That actually we don't obsess about electricity, we just turn on the light switch and it does its job. And I think at the moment most of us are still obsessing around our mobile phones and around what is AI, what's it going to do to me, what's it going to do to my kids. Look, it's just in essence going to make life a lot easier, and it's going to take away some of the pain points, and it's going to change life for sure. But do you know what? I started work and we had one word processor in the office, because I'm of a generation where they had things like typing pools, and we had a whole generation of women and their entire job was to sit behind a typewriter and type. And you know what? We lost all those jobs, but did we lose women in the workforce? Absolutely not. We enabled them to actually think about how they could move into all sorts of positions within a workforce. So I see AI as an enabler. I don't see it as something that's going to hold back humankind. That's another great question. Look, what I clearly see is that today's guest, and this is one of the challenges, it's not all easy ahead, is that today's guest is increasingly aware of what they want, but also the cost that they're prepared to pay. And these two don't always sit comfortably together, because I think we're in a market where many hospitality brands are trying to increase their revenue by driving up prices on rooms per night. And I think one of the challenges that AI will provide is that it's a great leveler. It's going to put more personalization in the hands of more mid-range hotels who are going to be able to offer great service in a way that maybe previously only luxury hotels were able to. So luxury hotels are going to have to up their game, and they're going to have to really demonstrate that they can offer value for money to their future guest, whatever that might be, whether it's in a room that's going to cost you $500, $1,000 or $5,000. The future consumer really wants to know that they're getting value for money. 10 technologies in 10 seconds. Let's maybe just do a few, and I'm going to give you some of the good ones and I'll give you some of the bad ones as well, because I think there are some bumpy ways along the road. I think the most important thing is that travelers are getting more curious. There are more of us, but we're going to more places in the world. At the moment, 80% of the world's travelers visit just 10% of the world's destinations, and I think we're all learning to visit other places, to not all go to the same place. And technology is helping us with that. Agentic AI is going to help us craft unique holiday concierge services that will encourage us to visit places we wouldn't have gone to before. And technologies that will maybe enable simultaneous ear translation will mean that language is no longer the barrier. What's one of the problems? One of the problems is that in a few years, air miles might not be something that you are given or rewarded for the amount you travel. Air miles could be the amount you are allowed to travel in order to mitigate your carbon footprint. So we may be in a position soon where we have to be very, very choosy in terms of the trips that we are going to take, because we may not be able to take all the trips we want. That's a challenge. But as we move into the late 2030s and 2040, we can look forward to the return of supersonic travel. We're already seeing the manufacture of mid-size supersonic jets that are being bought by airlines like Virgin Atlantic and Japan Airlines that will bring back supersonic travel for the luxury traveler, making almost anywhere in the world accessible within 4 to 5 hours. That's a game changer, and that really starts to have an impact on the way that we think about where we want to go and the reason why we want to go. My goodness me, I mean, it's very exciting to be here at TOURISE and just see the breadth of opportunity, certainly that we're seeing in the kingdom, and also the sophistication that we're seeing here in terms of what's being delivered as a relatively new market with a new product. And so what I'm finding so exciting here is really the way in which I think Saudi nationals and Saudi companies are absolutely up for the challenge of turning their country into a tourist-friendly destination. So I think a lot of us need to be on our toes and watch out for a new destination that is really going to make some waves.
In my opening remarks, I asked you to have fun. Have you had fun? Thank you very much for joining us for the first edition of TOURISE, a vision 2 years ago. But we knew that the world of travel and tourism needs a conference, a summit, a gathering, a venue like TOURISE. We had more than 100 nationalities attended TOURISE, 100 countries from the 5 continents, more than 50 ministers of tourism. This is our promise to the world to connect the private sector with the public.